Okay, so pretty sure it's recording. I'm gonna go do a little tutorial on how to use the world map. Looks like it's called Map Chart. Here you can see the link. So actually a pretty easy link to just type in yourself, or there's a link for this on Google Classroom. All right, and so we're gonna use this to map out different things about the world. For instance, we could map out like how many forests are left in certain countries, or how many endangered species are found in each country in these different areas of the world. So it does get really extensive. I mean, stuff like Canada, it's pretty good because it covers a lot of space. But when you start getting into some of these areas in Africa, there can be lots of little tiny places like Togo, for instance, or down here like Lesotho. So Africa seems to be the trickiest. Also, Europe gets a little tricky, especially through here. Okay, there's a lot of little tiny ones in here. So you can actually zoom in if you want to. So if you come over here and click zoom mode, and I'm using a little bit of an old computer here, but hopefully it'll work. And then you can actually use your mouse, but it can be too extreme. It can like zoom in too fast and you can kind of get lost. So I'm going to come over here and try these out. Yeah, this is much more under control, manageable, and we should see the country's names. So let's scroll down. Oops, see now it's okay. So I'm trying to scroll down my screen with the two fingers, and it's still in zoom mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit zoom, and now I can move up and down. Okay, so let's look at the stuff down here, and then we'll go back up. So here we can select our color. All right, and every time we select a new color, it gets added over here. So let's pick. So I'm gonna, and I think you actually have to apply that color to the map. So let's go here. You can see if you click on it, you get a lot of different color options, and I'm gonna try to kind of use a range where it's kind of like a dark color to a bright color, and probably the reds and the yellows are going to be like the more extreme. So if we're talking about like where the worst deforestation on Earth is happening or something like that, I'm going to use like the oranges and reds to signify like concern. And in some cases it may not be. Another one we're doing is just literally like how many large herbivore animals are found on certain continents. And then later we'll look at how many of those are endangered. So the map, we're going to actually compare the two eventually. But anyway, so it may all not necessarily, red might not mean danger, but it'll be typically the more extreme. So if it's like with the one we're doing soon, if it's based on like the most herbivores live in a certain part of the world, then that would be the red one because it's the most. Okay, so and then the darker like purples and dark blues we'll use for the lesser or less extreme. All right, so that being said, let's go with like a red. So as far as in the instructions, when it tells you to use a certain color, really keep it as close to possible as that color. So let's see. So that looks pretty red to me. All right, and then we're never going to really use this. These are areas that have been regionalized. I don't think, I mean, maybe, I don't know. This feels a little outside of what we're doing. That would be maybe more like a world geography, world history kind of thing. So I don't think we're ever going to use the regions here. All right, let's show the country's names. Unless you are a master of geography, I think that's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so now you can see the names. And it's sort of interesting. You can turn off keep all this the same. Background white, borders black. But you can actually turn the borders off. Okay, so let's see if we can. All right, so if you look at South America and this stuff down here, watch. And now it's just the names. And that may work for some people because now you don't have all these additional lines kind of distracting your vision. But when you zoom in, I think those extra lines won't be as distracting. And what I'm thinking is probably at the end of the year, at least in probably the environmental bio class, in case a regular bio is watching this, but in the environmental bio, probably at the end of the year, we're going to do these maps a number of times. So I think at the end of the year, there might even be like a test, a map test. So after doing these a few times, you will start mastering the world map. Trust me, because I had to go through all the countries and put them into a list, and I definitely learned as I went. So anyway, borders may be better for some, worse for some. I don't know. If the border's not there, you're just going to click on the name. So let's check that out. And there it is. Okay. And then if I put, and so you can actually see the border now, right? So if I come over to here, so that shows the border when you click on the name. But, you know, again, it's a preference. Up to you guys if you want to have the borders there. Okay. Probably not going to use the states, and if you look, it doesn't give you the names, so it's kind of annoying. But I guess if we did do something very United States focused, we would probably zoom in on that and then just use a regular map to figure out the names. But a little surprised they don't have the names, considering we've got all these little tiny European countries and their names show. All right, I'm going to turn that off though, because it doesn't really matter. Don't need that. Yeah, don't really need to do anything else down here. Okay, so there will always be a legend title. All right, so I'm just going to put in like practice map. Okay, and you'll see where that goes later. All right, and if you notice, because I chose red, now it's showing up in our legend. All right, and so I'm going to say red is practice 1. All right, now I'm going to change the color, and let's go with something very different. Okay, so let's go with this blue, and I'm just going to randomly apply it to a few different places. So let's do the zoom mode again, so it's a little easier to see. So we'll pick some places, and this will move you around. All right, and then the button will zoom you in. And like I said, if you do like the finger zoom, it is going to move really fast. And you know, if your computer's easy to manage and you think it works, do that, but this seems to work really well. And then what I'm doing here is on depending on what kind of computer you have, but I'm basically holding the left of my mouse down and dragging with my finger. So it depends what kind of mouse you're using and things like that, but you know, it's pretty basic computer technique. Okay, so let's pick a couple of these little teeny places in Africa. So let's get familiar with some of these places, because they're kind of obscure for us. I don't think, you know, many people in America know much about these places. So let's choose Togo and Benin. Let's come over here and do Burundi. All right, and then we'll come over here and we'll do French Guiana. All right, and so I'm going to exit zoom. You notice it keeps me just as zoomed in. So you can actually, if you want to zoom in and then exit it, then you can go up and down again. But it's stuck, as you can see. It's not moving anymore. Okay. So I can't even drag it. All right, so now blue is going to be practice 2. All right, and let's do one more. So right when let's see if it adds, so let's do like a light green. Okay, so notice it's not there yet. So let's put a light green here on Zambia, and now there's a green. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep the the number of colors, not overboard. I think the first one we're doing here in Environmental Bio has about 5 or 6 colors, and so then you make the key, okay, and then I'm going to zoom it back out. I don't know if we really need to see everything, but let's zoom it out anyway, because normally I'm going to want to see your whole map, unless we're focusing just on Africa or something like that. But for the first one we're doing in Environmental Bio, we're definitely doing the whole planet. So I'm going to want you guys to zoom out, okay, and then kind of, see, it gets a little weird, it moves too fast. So I'm going to use the buttons. There we go. I think that's got everything. All right, I'm going to exit zoom, or it might lose it there. Okay, and then what I want you guys to do, so let's say your map was done, it's all colored, and you finished, you got your title for your legend, which sometimes we call like a key. All right, and you got your legend labels in there. Okay, and you think you're done? Oh, wait, before that, here's how I'm going to remove a color. So let's say you hit the wrong thing. So what I'm doing, and it may be different on what kind of computer you have. It could be left clicks and things like that. I'm going to come over here, and on the Mac, I'm going to hold down Control, hit it, and then it gives me the option to remove the color. Okay, so on a regular mouse or maybe a PC, it's probably the left button on the mouse, and then click, and it'll give you that option. So let's come over here. We'll remove this one. So I'm holding down the control button, click, remove, and then you can fix. So that's pretty easy. So again, on different types of mice or on a PC, it might be like the left button brings up that menu, and then and then you should be able to click it and whatever. Okay, so let's say you feel like you got your whole map, it's done, it's good, it's colored, and you're ready to go. What I want you to do is hit Preview Map and go back up. So it's kind of like constructing it, I guess. This computer's kind of old. Okay, and it's a little blurry, but that's okay. I'm really kind of looking. I think on a better computer it wouldn't have that little blur element to it. And here now we have your legend. It's got the title of the legend. It tells me what the colors mean. And then what you're going to do is just put your ID, maybe over here. Since there's some space over here, you'll take a photo with your camera and then turn that in, following the rules on how to turn in photos. And it's okay if these words are they look a little choppy. I don't know what to say. But when you have it all filled in with color, I'm going to be able to tell if you did it right or not. And, accidentally, maybe a small micro error, like having this one little European country the wrong color or something, might not stand out, but it could. So you want to take your time with these. It's a little meticulous, but as you get, practice with it, you'll get better. And you're really going to learn a lot about the Earth and the global communities and countries that exist on the Earth in relation to life on Earth and biology and environmental biology. And after doing 4 or 5 of these, I would think you're going to start really sort of getting some of these places down. Also, when I set it up, like with the instructions, I put all the countries in kind of an organized way. So, for instance, I think I start with like Iceland and kind of move through North America, and then I think I stop, and then I have another one that's South America, and I think I'll tend to either go like across, left to right, or down. So that South America probably is like these ones first, and then I start going down, and then there's Brazil. So it's not like it's scattered. So I don't want you guys totally like getting lost. So it's not like I go from here to here to here to here to here to here, and it's just like jumping around. There is a pattern to the order in which I've listed the countries. And that's going to get really important when you start coming over here, because it's kind of a mad jumble in Europe. So I kind of work my way either left to right or top down. Okay, and so there will be a pattern, so you won't get quite as lost and can keep yourself organized. I think in Africa I go across multiple times. I think I go across and then across again, and then I think I go down. Over here, I kind of broke it up. I think I just do like Kazakhstan down, and then I do the rest of sort of like Asia and stuff, and it's pretty much kind of going down and then a little bit across. Okay, so it is sequenced. You should, if you follow the sequence, you should be fine. All right, and that's pretty much it.